Hey everybody, I hope everyone's having a wonderful Easter Sunday on a what for the Midwest is a very cold, dreary Sunday. Can't hear myself. There we go. Okay, so so yeah, a while during spring training, I was getting ready to put together a bit of a studio so I could do some video blogging, and I kind of wanted to regularly chat with you guys, and also. This all started as a weekly Periscope live show, and I was trying to, even though Periscope kind of went away, it's around some corners of the internet. I wanted to bring back some like regular baseball chatter, and then well, everything happened. Everything that we're seeing happened. So naturally, that kind of went by the wayside. But I don't know. There's some interesting developments right now, and Major League Baseball is floating out all these different ideas out there. I don't know if they're really trying to get them out there. They're leaking out these different contingency plans for what we can possibly do with the rest of the year once hopefully the world gets back to normal. And I just wanted to chat about the next one because the concept is so wild. And I have to admit, I looked a little bit ahead. I wanted this to be kind of a hot take, just an instant reaction kind of a video. This came out a couple days ago, and I'm finding this from usatoday.com. The idea of, a few weeks ago, they talked about having everybody play the entire season in Arizona, which seemed like, I don't know how they can possibly do that, how they can get all of those teams in one place. There's a lot of stadiums existing, of course, but I don't know, is there enough? And the new plan, a new possible plan is to do an abbreviated season, and we'll have, instead of American League, National League, we will have the Grapefruit League and the Cactus League. So Florida teams and Arizona teams. And my guess is that they would not play each other at all. So no travel. Those teams are sequestered in their own separate states. And that comes with realignment. So I wanted to go through and just have some gut reaction. Now, first off, if we can get any level of baseball this year, I would be thrilled. I'd be so excited about that because nothing is, you can't take anything for granted right now. The world is in a very bizarre place. But I gotta say, as I was looking forward to the season, the White Sox were in a very lenient, you could say one of the weaker divisions. You have the Royals and the Tigers, both bad teams, not even trying to be good yet this year. They're in the rebuilding process. The Indians have some great players on them, but one of the top guys in all of baseball, Francisco Lindor, is looked at as trade bait. So he's a guy that might get traded away if the Indians get off to a bad start. So then the Indians suddenly aren't that scary anymore. The Twins are an up-and-coming team, but they are not yet a behemoth. And I don't think they did nearly enough to make their pitching formidable. So to me, the White Sox had actually a chance to be in the mix of it. I don't know if they would have won the division. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have won the division, but it would have been interesting all the way to the end. And now, looking at our new division, if this goes through, we'd be lucky to not be in last place. Now, granted, I don't think the White Sox are going to win the World Series this year. This is still a year of growth, an exciting year of growth, if we get to play. But I haven't looked at any of the other divisions yet. So I'm going to do hot takes on what the realignment would look like and make some predictions if this were to play out. Kind of hope it does. I mean, I don't love the competition, but I'd be really, if this is like a video game scenario, you'd never see some of these teams play each other and never in a meaningful way. So we'll start again. This is on usatoday.com. The title is MLB considering radical realignment for 2020 season, Grapefruit and Cactus Leagues. And that came out on the 10th. So just a few days ago now. So the first league, and they're grouped by where their stadiums are, even within the states of Arizona and Florida, respectively. So Grapefruit League North would consist of the Yankees, Phillies, Blue Jays, Tigers, and Pirates. So Phillies and Yankees, that's pretty exciting. And Toronto's an up-and-coming team. But to me, that's a pretty easy win for the Yankees. And I'm sure they'd be okay with not having to play the Rays a whole bunch within their division, at least. Yeah, I don't know. That one's pretty straightforward. That almost plays out the way I predict that one to end the exact same way I read it. Yankees, Phillies, Jays, Tigers, Pirates. Grapefruit South would be the Red Sox, the Twins, Braves, the Rays, and the Orioles. So that's pretty cool. The Braves and the Rays being in the same division. Very good teams. And the Twins are a good team. Red Sox, we don't know what to expect with them. They were a team that should have been great last year, and they were terrible. So you expect something of a bounce back. Chris Sale is lost for the season. He's one of the best arms on the team, and they traded David Price away. So the Twins don't have it easy here. I think I would pick the Braves to win. Then man, that's actually a good division. I'd like to see how that one plays out. But hot takes. I'm going Braves, Rays, Twins, Boston, and then Orioles. And finally, in the East, in the Grapefruit League, we have the Nationals, the beloved Houston Astros, the Mets, the Cardinals, and the Marlins. Well, the defending World Series champions always have to be the favorite. So there they are at the top. Yeah, Mets. Ooh, this is pretty fun division too. Marlins definitely last. I'm gonna go. So the other interesting thing that's happening now is, the Houston Astros were so hated with so much vitriol for being caught cheating a couple of times for a couple of different seasons. And if the baseball season started on schedule, they would have just had a miserable year. And now they've had this buffer of like a month and a half and counting where they don't have to hate that. And everybody else is way more focused on not hating them. So I thought they were going to have a really, really hard year of just being the bullseye on them, people throwing at their best hitters and on. And that still might happen, but I don't think it's going to happen with such intensity. So I don't think the Houston Astros, they may have benefited from this time away, but I'll still pick the Nats, Mets, then Astros. Cardinals are a good team, and I love Paul Goldschmidt. So that's a tough division. Moving over to Arizona, let's see what happens here. We have the Northeast division in the Cactus League, with the Cubs, Giants, Diamondbacks, Rockies, and A's. Well, I think the A's are an easy pick on that one. The Cubs, I'd say that they've got let out easy compared to their existing division with the Cardinals. And the Brewers took a step back, but they're still a good team. Anybody that has Christian Yelich on their team, and I think Lorenzo Cain is going to bounce back this year. The Cubs have an easier division here, and they might finish in second. Diamondbacks, don't sleep on them. They're still good. But you have, and boy, the Rockies. Okay, the more I look at it, the more I talk it out, the better it's looking. Giants, easy, last place. I'd say Oakland, easy, victory. And maybe the Rockies finishing fourth. I don't know, Rockies, Diamondbacks, they'll be close together. But Oakland, definite win. And in the Northwest division, we have the Brewers, the Padres, the Mariners, the Rangers, and the Royals. Now if that goes down like that, Milwaukee might be super happy. Padres are a great up-and-coming team, but I think I would go, and Rangers made some good additions. I mean, Corey Kluber's on that team now, so you can't sleep on them. I'll let them tip the scales a little bit because it's close, but I think I would give it to the Brewers in that division. This would work out for them. I'll go Brewers, Padres, Rangers, Mariners, Royals. Finally, and this is where the White Sox get so screwed. They're playing against the Dodgers in their own division, a team that I was picking to win 103 games this year. There's no chance the White Sox will be anywhere near that number. But also in that division, they still have the Indians, as I mentioned earlier. Now we have the LA Angels with the best player in all of baseball, undisputed for the last decade, Mike Trout, and the newly acquired Anthony Rendon, manning third base. So they got some serious firepower. Just like the Twins, they didn't do anything to address their biggest need, which is pitching. So I still think the Angels are not a great team, but they've got some really scary people on it. Andrelton Simmons, one of the most underrated players in baseball. They're a very good team. I should say that. But the fact that they didn't add pitching, if I was an Angels fan, I would actually care even more than this. And also the Cincinnati Reds, going along with the White Sox, probably the two most improved teams in all of baseball last year were the White Sox and Reds, and now they'd be in the same division. So yes, you go from the White Sox in the existing American League Central being in the mix in the top three, duking it out all season long, to now trying to fight to not be in last place. And that's how you'd have to have the mindset going in. The good news, if this does go down, as a White Sox fan, if the young players that are still cutting their teeth and some new guys like Lewis Robert, who are just coming up and seeing their first ever big league action, if they get used to that being their division, then it'll be easy next year, comparatively. If they don't have to be in the same division playing the unbalanced schedule against the Dodgers and the Angels and the Reds, seeing Mike Trout all the time. If Lucas Giolito gets good at handling Mike Trout, Cy Young's for the rest of his career. But okay, so to make the predictions now, you got to go Dodgers first, easily. I'm still putting the Indians up there, number 2. And then maybe, it's hard to really throw the White Sox down too far. All these teams have their faults. I guess I put the Reds next. Reds would have to be next. Would the Angels be in the basement in last place? Yeah, that's what I'll do right now. White Sox and then the Angels in the basement. Boy, that's a wild division. Trevor Bauer on the Reds. That team's got a lot of fight in them. And yeah, I don't know. So that's my hot take on it. What would you guys see about this division? What are your picks? At the end of the day, as long as there's baseball, that's all that matters. Safely, of course. But and the very interesting thing is, if it does go down like this with just Arizona, just Florida, that's where no audience place, the game